Nice to have you for the final chapter of our subject, Entrepreneurship Management. We have seen so many topics regarding it in the previous 10 chapters. And finally, we have reached the final subject, chapter, which is building a new venture team. Of course, all of you have realized that a team is the most important part of a startup or any new business. And in this chapter, we will try to understand how this kind of team is formed and what are the difficulties and challenges that a team has to face to sustain in a startup environment. Okay, let's see some of the steps. Steps to building a new startup team. Of course, first there should be a business plan. Otherwise, how will you manage to have a team in place? Because the business plan will decide how many activities and processes are there in order to make a team, how many people will be required. Secure appropriate funding. Of course, you need to pay the salaries and wages and bonuses and incentives to the team. Therefore, securing appropriate funding is important. Surround yourself with the right people. Basically, in a team, there will be people hired by the human resources person or by the founder of the company. He has to see that the culture of the people and their dreams match with the culture and future prospect of the company. If the person is looking for personal growth or higher salary or job satisfaction or to learn new processes, whatever it may be, if it is being offered, then only the person should be hired and he will turn out to be the right person for the company. Otherwise, getting wrong people will cause more disruption and problems as and when the company progresses because their personal dreams will not match that with the organization's forecast for success and the mission and the vision of the organization. Find a location and build a website. Of course, you should have an office, but nowadays everything is work from home. So you might not have a location, but do have a website or a blog because a website or a blog indicates that your company is genuine and creates trust in the people who are using your products and services. So, a website actually helps to install genuinity of a company and also gives data and information about your company, how many team members are there, what processes you carry on, and what is your exact service or business. Okay, so let's go to the fifth point, students. Becoming a marketing expert. A startup team will require a marketing expert to tell about the new businesses, the new startup to the customers or the clients. Because without marketing, even if you are selling the best of the products, people will not come to know. So, marketing expert is important. Going to the sixth point, build a customer base. Of course, a customer base, initial 10 customers who will buy your products and service will instill confidence in all of you in the entire startup. So, first 10 customers is difficult, but they build the base. And then gradually, a startup can progress to many more customers, and someday, probably, it can target to have 100 customers. So, basically, there is a customer who purchases, and there are customers who are prospects. So, these prospect customers are supposed to be targeted from time to time so that they know that this company exists and a continuous recall in their mind is there. Coming to the seventh point, prepare for anything. Prepare for anything means there can be good and bad prospects and something can keep going wrong. So let's continue. So preparing for anything is preparing for the good and the bad that may come in the future. And you should be prepared that 20 to 30% of the things that will happen may be unexpected. Let's go to the point 8, identify positions, that is hierarchy in the company. And the most important members of your team are the founders, of course. They have put their blood and money and efforts and resources to get this startup together. So, whoever will be reporting to them and whoever will be doing the work under them, who will be assisting and who will be the general staff, all these positions have to be identified in a startup before you take the people in. Weigh hiring a staff or tapping an advisor or consultant. So basically, it's a startup. So everything is new and probably there should be a lot of brainstorming. But at the end of the day, even the brainstorming cannot sometimes find solution to the problems. That is why it is important to get the right advisor or the consultant for the company to hire uh, and understand if the processes are going in the right direction or not. So these consultant has experience with many other startups and they understand that it's finance or marketing or production or service where you need to concentrate at the moment. Plus they will help in the future 2 years, 5 years plan down the line, and they know that the founders have to be down to earth, and that is how it will flow from the hierarchy to the staffers. 10th point, pick candidates. Once the shortlisted candidates are picked, they are interviewed and then they are hired on board with the right care. Coming to the 12th point, so that they will sustain because they have come through such rigorous shortlisting process. Again, few more points that you need to see when you are hiring a team. Your own qualities and culture and positive attitude will flow in the team. So, getting the right attitude starts with you. Second, hire action takers who can get the job done. There are some people who will speak very well, but probably they don't know how to practically and feasibly make things happen. So, distinguish between people who are very good at probably technical knowledge to the people who are good at practical knowledge. Third point, don't build a team for a startup. Just build a team which have qualities which the founders don't have or the existing people don't have. So it's not that we are just bringing in people because there is a requirement, but we are bringing in people who have extra qualities which the existing team does not have. Therefore, hiring people who understand the importance of customer service is important. So, customer service requires to be very patient, to be nice, to be responsive, to be a good listener, to understand what the customer is looking for, and who treats the customer as a king or queen. Because we all know that in today's time, if customer is not happy, it's very easy for him to change his loyalty towards some other brand, and losing a customer means a lot of cost to the company. Of course, personalities matter. The fifth point, some people do not carry themselves well or do not have the correct facial expressions, hand gestures, or body language. Such people need a overall personality because they are a part of startup which has a long way to go and probably a long way to earn profit before the break even happens. If such people are hired who do not have positive or confident personalities, the startup may suffer in the process. Be a ringmaster. Handling many people together is the art that a startup founder should have and his team should have. So a ringmaster handles a lot of animals and maybe clowns. Similarly, an entrepreneur handles the team and the processes and different kinds of new starting things. Coming to the seventh point, consider investment in recruitment. So don't think that recruitment is a loss and that hiring people will be a liability to the company. In fact, recruitment is the foundation because these employees will be your substitute and the spreader of your message in the future. Avoid homogeneity in your team. Avoid having similar kind of people with similar skill sets and similar qualifications, probably having a similar kind of experience and background. The more heterogeneity or variety in the qualities and skills of the people will help the team to evolve better so that people supplement and complement each other at the times of new projects and needs. Why do startups face difficulties or before launching they come to a halt? There are 8 points which we need to keep in mind to understand the common difficulties when launching startups. Problems, ideation and solutions, validations, find your dream team, customer persona and customer validation, prototype and validation, marketing plan and building a landing page, business and revenue model, funding. Now we will understand each point in details. First point, problem. The problems that a startup can face is getting permissions, getting licenses, getting the packaging right, reaching in the right place, promoting it to the right target audience. There can be so many issues. Ideation and solution. If the product or service is not solving a gap or a solution, it will not get validation. Okay. And of course, if the team is not in the place, then also everything can go wrong. Customer persona. What is the personality type of the customer? If it is a sports brand, maybe the customer is adventurous and likes physical activity. Customer validation. If customer, you have bought thing according to the customer in the market with proper research, but still the customer is not liking it, maybe for a small reason like color, taste, look of the product or unavailability when the customer needs. So it will not get the right customer validation and word of mouth will suffer. Coming to the fifth point, prototype and validation. Here, we have to understand that your product and service needs a pilot project. First few products should be sold and seen if in that locality that product is required or not. So this pilot project is probably for a period of 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, so that you get a taste whether the customer wants it or not. Okay. Coming to the 6 point marketing plan and building a landing page. Like we have discussed, there should be a website and a marketing plan. How we will go ahead with social media or outdoor advertising or mass advertising or pamphlet distribution, direct marketing. So any such plan should be properly detailed. Coming to the 7 point, business and revenue model. Basically, business and revenue model means the budget that is allotted to every small process and how gradually the sales will begin and income will start getting generated. Then how gradually all the costs will be covered by this income and more capital may be infused in the system. All this has to be planned for next 5 years. And finally, funding can go wrong. A lot of people will commit to fund, but probably only 1% of the people will actually give the money required to the startup. So, trying it from multiple options and sources is important to get the right funding in place because only when your wallet is full, you will feel like expanding with new ideas. Thank you, students. We will continue after team is made. Make sure you are building something which people want. For example, the new types of businesses are mostly about online data analytics, business analyst, understanding the statistics, and maybe coding, software. If you see, these are the future trending prospects in education business. If you are traditional business, then you have a huge competition. So building something which people want will help you to grow in future. Second, speak to people and get feedback. Of course, it is important to know whether the people really like your product or service or not. Everyone thinks their baby is the best. So, a founder feels that their product or service is the best. But it may not be the case if you actually go on field and take feedback forms, questionnaires, and ask people after giving samples whether they like the product or not. If you have an application, keep a feedback form. Of course, today Google review is so important that people give discount if someone gives review. If there is anyone visiting from Urban Club, they will ask you to review. If anyone is giving you a retail service, they will ask you to put your review and star rating on Google. That is why feedback is very important to evolve in the business. Third point, get a landing page up now. So basically, the website should be there. We have already discussed. So we'll go ahead and finding customers by calling them or visiting them or going to places where you will find your target audiences and keeping campaigns and exhibitions. Go over on the product to develop something clients really want is already covered. Next, it's been said before, and we will say it again. The type of people you hire can ultimately make or break your business. A startup team with diverse skills and experience is essential to its growth in the long haul. Ideally, one should remember that each member exhibits the right skills and hard and soft skills together brings the right balance in the team. So this slide is talking about why we need different expertise in different employees and putting all hands together, the united team stands. Working with the new team, establishing expectations from day one, basically telling them what are the rules and regulations, how they have to log in, log out, how they have to update messages while they are working, how they have to report, how they have to make documents, how everything is expected from them is to be told them right in the beginning as clearly as possible rather than waiting for them to make mistakes because that will pull their confidence low since they are also watching the firm in their first month. Respect your team members as individuals. Of course, they will make mistakes, there will be errors, but rather than focusing on them, focus on the error and make the corrections. This will help them to evolve confidently and not make the mistakes again and treat them like friends initially so that they understand their problems instead of getting scared from their bosses. Engender connections within the team. Of course, a team is not individual entities separately. There are people who are connected with each other. They have lunch together, they work on projects together, they interact, they brainstorm together, they meet and discuss the problems. So, forming connections between them through activities or by introducing them or making them work in different permutations helps the team to evolve together. Fourth point, practice emotional intelligence. So basically, not only the intelligence and technical process and the systems makes the team, there are emotions involved. They have their personal lives. They have come over here to give their best. So emotionally also you need to charge them up by giving them positive feedback time and again. Fifth, motivate with positivity. So the idea is to give them positive motivation rather than giving memos or negative motivation. Initial 1 year, no startup should give negative motivation. 6 point, communicate, communicate, communicate. So basically, every problem can be solved if it is discussed on the table and all the parties get to keep their viewpoints so that people understand what the other meant and what was the intentions in that conflict which has happened before. Even if there is no conflict, a weekly meeting should be held in every company or a startup. 7 point, look for ways to reward good work. Of course, by giving them cards, thank you cards, or the person of the team, or some award for the best work, or some achievement flowers, or probably chocolates. Even small things make a difference because it's not about the value of the reward, but because it is coming from the boss. And plus, everyone looks at the winner and he gets motivated. That is why the reward for good work is important. Last point, diversify. Just sticking to the same process and the same team will make it very boring. So, changing tasks, bringing up new things, giving new challenges, giving new responsibilities will make your team the most effective team possible. Coming to the next point, 7 ways to add massive value to your startup. Here we will see that our startup has already come with the team. Now things have to move ahead. So what other points we can keep in mind to make it work? First, the faster the better. The first way to increase value is simply to increase the speed you deliver, the kind of value people are willing to pay for. Of course, if the demand is high, you need to know how to increase your speed. If it is low, you need to focus on the quality of the product or the service. So either way, you need to have one unique selling proposition or USP and focus on that and give that value to the customers. Okay. Second point, offer better quality. There is no substitute for quality in the long run. If you want to sustain with positive word of mouth, it will be only the good products and services that you have experienced that you will tell others. If you had any issue or you did not like anything, you will never approve it and you will not pass it on to other people. So quality actually pays in the long run. Add value, keep adding value to your product by enhancing it, modifying it, and taking feedback from clients. Fourth point, increase convenience. Like Amazon, Jeff Bezos told that my only objective is for customer to be very, very happy and satisfied. He should be able to get shopping done on a click and it should not be more than 10 seconds process. And he made it happen through Amazon. And the way today people are using Amazon, it has reached as the top 5 powerful companies of the world according to Forbes 500 magazine. This was not possible easily, but of course, it started somewhere with one area of products. And when they could achieve good customer service, they diversified to next area of products like toys, etc. So basically, the idea is customer satisfaction on a click helped them in the lockdown to grow further. Increased convenience is that is why important that the product and service should reach the client. Fifth point, improve customer service. We have already discussed that products everyone is selling, but good differentiation happens when your service is the best and people remember you for the experience they had with you. Sixth point, changing lifestyles. So basically, everyone nowadays is earning, and there are two people earning in a family, and lifestyles are changing. So the startups today have to keep in account that in metro cities, the earning capacity has gone up. Of course, lockdown has brought economic downfall, but this does not mean that lifestyles are not changing in the smaller tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities. Offer planned discounts in festival seasons or during the times when you feel that your season of selling products is highest, because discount schemes, offers, and freebies always attract the clients further and further. This is difficulties and challenges in a startup. So we are coming to the next part of this chapter, which is about that startup is not all a ball game, not so easy as it is conceived by people. That is why in India, out of 100 startups, only 5 to 6 actually succeed, and 2 to 3 really go ahead with huge profits. Others usually close down or end up in a loss, or they are not able to pay back to their investors. So first point that every startup has to keep in mind that there is already fierce competition. There's no virgin market. And as and when within a year, there will be more competition coming up. The corporate world is quite fierce, and being a startup, the big companies and the big fishes will, of course, take away the major market share. Unrealistic expectations from business will only end up in doom. So basically, keep margins everywhere and prepare for the worst. Success does not come alone. If the founder feels that he himself can make everything work, it's a very wrong attitude. He has to feel that I and my team will bring success, and a major chunk of success will happen only when everyone is actually motivated to work. Hiring suitable candidates, partnership decision making. So basically, tying up with other startups or other benefactors and giving them a part of the profit will help you to market your product through them and their networks. Financial management. Of course, finance is the blood supply and backbone of a startup. So, thinking about loss and how to handle it will help the startup to sustain. But if it only prepares for the profit, probably that might not be true in reality. Cyber security. In today's time, all the data is online. So your employees' data, your work data, products data, everything has to be secured. So an entrepreneur have to spend on IT solutions and security, and maybe on application website security also. Last point, winning trust of customers does not come cheap. Of course, big price has to be paid for it. Again and again winning and maintaining the genuinity and consistent performance helps us to overcome the difficulties and challenges in a startup. The most important and basic problem in a startup is the money problems. The majority of small businesses that fail to do so because of lack of cash. A 2004 US bank study said that 79% of small businesses fails because starting out with too little money. So we expect 100 rupees to go, but probably they end up spending 500 rupees as one of the reasons for the business downfall. Often this is because owners borrow based on their ideas of a successful business. Instead of borrowing for a worst case scenario, a startup business owner needs to be optimistic or positive, but often it is too optimistic about seeing profits. Without adequate cash flow, slow sales, or a downturn in the market can end the business before it has a chance to gain momentum. Small business owners' resources are typically limited by the small budgets they work with. Small budgets affect the amount of cash you have available to handle unexpected expenses, to pay your staff, and even to save for your own retirement. Limited budgets may prevent business owners from spending money on marketing activities that can help them grow their business and also limit the size of loans they can qualify for. And getting the right loan, enough amount is important in a startup. We will be continuing after this. Marketing is the next difficulty that entrepreneurs face. A common problem for new business startups is to hurry into elaborate print advertisements and radio commercials without knowing the target market and researching other market data. The cost associated with marketing and advertising can be expensive. So, just randomly starting with marketing and advertising does not help a startup. Without knowing how much they are going to spend, who is going to watch it, just doing radio commercials and print advertisement because that is easy to do is not the right way to go. So, how should we go ahead? But we will see what are the mistakes that startups make. If a business does not know who its target market is, maybe it is women of 20 to 30 age group, it is working women, it is housewives, or it is children, or it is elders, or it is males who are working, or it is really old crowd. So that has to be well defined before you start marketing. Then it may be a waste of money if these things are not thought about. And all this ads will initially cost a huge bomb to the startup. This may contain incorrect messages or may have appeared places in publications that don't reach the company's target market. Gradually, by doing this marketing techniques again and again, the entrepreneur finds out which is the correct way of messaging and getting response from the clients. Besides lacking the funding to develop adequate online and offline marketing and promotional plans, small business owners often aren't sure of the best approach to capture their market's attention. So, whether it is pamphlet distribution, telecalling, direct mails, or door to door visit, or just reaching out friends and family members, or making WhatsApp group of the prospect customers, or getting database from various sources. So, it can be anything from using social media. And nowadays, due to lockdown, social media is the most important platform to do marketing. So it is Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on, where the expert who can handle such social media should be hired. And attending networking events to advertise online and attending trade shows, exhibitions, campaigns is one way, cheap way to do marketing. Small business owners struggle to find the marketing activities that yield the best results. Managing work and home together is another challenge that entrepreneurs face. They have to self motivate themselves because probably they will not have anyone to discuss their issues at times. In an office environment, there are colleagues and there is some social interaction that happens. But an entrepreneur meets clients or prospective investors So he might not have someone who will match his wavelength and discuss with him whatever he wants to discuss about his business. So, in this frustration, managing personal life and the new startup becomes a challenge. A business startup requires a tremendous time commitment, maybe of 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and a strong willpower. Add to this the financial stress of a fledgling business, a business which can go down at any fall of hat. Startup business owners often have problems balancing the overwhelming demands of the company, employees, and the needs of his own family. If the stress of the workplace spreads into the home, the business owners may feel pressure around the clock. Another mistake that a startup owner does is to try to do it all alone because he has the great idea, he has the funds, he has hired the team, and he feels he can be all in one. A common problem for most entrepreneurs is the belief that they can handle all the startup's operations by themselves. It may be a cost effective way to run the business, but operating the entire business on your own may not be a wise decision or the best use of your time. Many small businesses, startups may not require full time employees. It's a good idea to have at least two teammates, a lawyer and an accountant, and be ready to help. With experienced, reliable assistance, one can avoid other common business mistakes. When it is time to hire staff, be careful of the choices. Employees are a crucial component in the success of any business. Another mistake is poorly priced products and services. Although one may be competing with the big box stores or big retailers or the people who are already fish or sharks in the market, one will most likely not be able to price like these stores. The nationwide and international companies obtain products at rock bottom prices because of the sheer quantity of goods they order and thanks to exclusive supplier contracts. Because they order in wholesale, they get good suppliers who give them major discounts and good quality. Pricing the goods and services too low can delay the process of turning a profit and reducing the losses. Instead of earning in this way, list fair retail prices and make sure your startups excel in customer service. You also should have a convenient location and hours for your startup. So, of course, keeping so many things in mind makes a startup work. And the correct pricing will happen only when you sell some sample products.